If you could really predict the future with a deck of playing cards, this trick will make it look like just that. The best part is this trick is entirely self-working, and all you really need is one little thing to make it happen, which I'm sure you have already, so I'll quit talking so we can jump right into this amazing effect. Let's get into it. Alright, so first I will show you this trick. I'll show you a demo of this trick, how it should look like for a willing participant, and afterwards I'll show you how it's done. Alright, so you take a deck of cards and you hand it to somebody and have them just give it a good shuffle. Any shuffle will work, any shuffle they know how to do will work just fine, just as long as the cards are thoroughly mixed up. Now you say, look, when you take it back, you say, you know, sometimes I have people pick cards like this. Other times I just have them deal cards like this. We're going to do sort of a combination of both of those here in a minute. But first, I'm going to have us both think of something. And before we say them out loud, in fact, I'll write my thought down that I have right now. Sometimes I get a feeling about what's going to take place in the future. Whenever that happens, I like to just jot it down so I don't forget them. In this case, it'll be, I'm going to write this. Yeah, I think that'll be the one today. Yeah, just that there. So I'll leave that right there so you can see it the whole time. Now, like I said, we're both going to think of something, and you're going to try to read my mind. So right now I'm thinking of a number, and this is sort of a mid-range number, not too high, not too low, from 1 to 52. And I want you to try to guess the number that I'm just thinking of. Alright, so let's say the person guesses that I'm thinking of 16. Alright, so then you would say, look, wow, that's crazy. You got so close. You were only a couple away. I was honestly thinking of the number 18. So now you say, look, not only was I thinking of 18, but I was also thinking of a card. I'll show you in a minute. So you count 18 cards to my number. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. The card I was honestly thinking of was the 9 of clubs. And since you shuffled the deck, there was no way I could have known what card would be at number 18. But I had a feeling it would be the 9 of clubs. Let's see if I was right. The 9 of clubs. I don't know how it happens sometimes, not all the time, but we'll do this again. You were just thinking of a number, right? You said 16. Count down 16 cards and let's see what happens. So they do that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 cards. We'll put that card aside. Now, I could have just been bluffing. I could have just told you I was thinking of 18. I could have just told you I was thinking of the 9 of clubs. But sometimes you need proof when I say these things, right? So remember, I wrote something down before anything even happened, before any number was named, before anything even happened. I wrote something down that I thought would happen. I wrote down a card. You can see it says the 9 of spades, which is ironic because I got the 9 of clubs, which was close to your card. But look, you could have named any number. The card I thought you would get is, of course, the 9 of spades. Alright, so here is how it is done. So first thing you will need is a marked deck. Now this deck is just the maiden-backed marked deck from Penguin Magic. They're just called marked cards. Best marked deck on the market in my opinion. But any marked deck will do. In fact, I have 2 or 3 videos on best marked decks you can get, which I will leave links down below to those videos. So next what you'll need is something to write on and a writing utensil. Alright, it doesn't have to be a fancy Sharpie or a business card. It could just be a scrap paper and a crayon if you need to. It doesn't matter. Alright, so now what you'll do is this. Give the deck to somebody and have them give it a good shuffle. The best mix that they can do is fine. Now, after they shuffle, have them maybe give it a cut if they want to, and then as soon as that happens, as soon as the deck is on the table, and then it's out of play, read the back of the top card. In this case, it's the Jack of Hearts. Alright, so we'll just do that again so I can show you that you always know what it is. 9 of clubs, boom. If we do it again, that'll be the 8 of spades. Alright, so Any marked deck that you can read that quickly is best, right? So 7 of clubs, boom, there it is. So whatever it is, after they shuffle and put it on the table, you want to memorize what that top card is by reading the back of the card, the marking. So after you've read the marking, you'll go through a demonstration of how people usually pick cards and whatever. So first you say, look, normally I have people pick cards like this. Other times I have people just deal cards like this to pick one. And what you're going to do here is deal 3 cards. It's always 3 cards, okay? So the reason why you're doing this is because you want to get that noted card, your marked, the card that you're thinking of, third from top, all right? So in this case, it'll be third from top. We'll leave it face up so you can always follow it, all right? So the card that you're going to write down is, of course, the 7 of clubs, right? The top card after they shuffle, you've memorized it, blah, blah, blah. Normally I have people pick cards like this. Other times I have people deal cards down and what have you. So now when you pick these up and slap them on top, it'll be third from top. You can give it a false cut if you like, just to sell the idea that everything is random. But it's still third from top, boom, 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 right here. Okay, so after you've done that, say, look, now we're going to both think of something. But before we do that, I'm going to write something down. And of course, all you write down here is that card that you're thinking of, in this case, the 7 of clubs. So take your Sharpie out and just write 7 of clubs, or whatever your card is, on this paper, right? So 7 of clubs, just like that. So don't let them see this, of course. So you just lay it face down on your working surface and proceed as follows. Now, this is based on a really old force, sometimes called the redeal force, but there's an added subtlety in this that just it flies right by everybody because of how you structure this, or how I've structured this. All right, so now you're going to say, look, I'm going to think of a number. And I like this because normally you'd be like, I want you to think of a number, and then I'll name my number to you. But since you're having them try to guess your number, it adds a certain dynamic to it that not a lot of magicians utilize, which they should, but I think it's brilliant. So it's the same thing as having them name a number, but in this case, they're trying to read your mind, and so I think it adds for an extra flavor of magic. So say, look, I'm going to think of a number, not too high, not too low, somewhere between 1 and 52. And so it doesn't matter what number they name, but you don't want to be too long because then you're dealing all day, so it doesn't really matter what number they name. But whatever number they think you're thinking of, as soon as they name it, you just add 2 to it, all right? You add 2 every single time, with whatever number they name. And by saying my number, I'll give you a clue. It's not too high, not too low. And so you're not restricting them with their number, because the number you're apparently thinking of is not too high and not too low. So you're just sort of giving them a clue as opposed to restricting their number, right? So I think it's a lot better in that regard. So you say, look, I'm thinking of a number. It's not too high, not too low, somewhere in between 1 and 52. So they'll usually name a number between 10 and 20. Okay, so let's say they name 13 in this case. And as soon as they name it, you're like, oh, whoa, really? I was thinking of 15. That's only 2 away. That was so close. But we'll count down to 15. You see, look, I was thinking of a card, and so since my number is 15, let's just see what card is at number 15. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And whatever this card is, when you deal 15 cards, or 2 away with whatever number they name, right? So you just read the back of this card and say, honestly, the card I had in mind, the card I had a feeling about was the 4 of spades. I'm not always right, but we'll take a look, see if I was right today. So you take a look at it, and of course it is the 4 of spades, and they freak out. Now just put this right back on top and put all these cards on top. Now that positions that 7 of clubs at the number they just named, which is 13. All right, so you say, look, now that could have just been luck, or, you know, my magician, whatever skills, but you also had a number in mind, a number I couldn't have not predicted, a number you were just thinking of, You said 13, so hand them the deck and have them deal their number 13 down to the table. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. There it is. We'll turn it face down again. And now I say, look, now I could have just been lying to you. I could have just been bluffing about how my number was 15 and about how my card was the 4 of spades. Sometimes you need proof with these sort of things. Remember, I wrote something down before anything even happened, before you named a number, before the cards were shuffled, anything. I wrote something down, a premonition of what I thought would take place. And in fact, what I wrote down is the 7 of clubs. Let's take a look at your card. What did you get? And they turn it over and they, of course, freak out because there's no way that could have happened. And it's a great trick. Trust me, it's one of those things that people, wow. Mentalism, right? It's crazy. Alright guys, so as always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch this video. It truly does mean the world to me. And so if you learned something new and if you got value from this video, do me a huge favor and hit that like button and sub to the channel. Until next time, happy practicing. I love you guys.